Hey everybody, back again. This. I really hate that I have to keep doing this. Um, keep having to tell people this. There's a bunch of people out there, conspiracy theories and conspiracy nuts. Like, oh, there's a second shooter on the grassy knoll type deal, and it's all surrounding a water tower. They're like, well, there was a shooter on top of the water tower because you can see somebody standing on top of the water tower uh, in this grainy ass footage that we zoomed in of a zoomed in image that's been screen captured after screen captured. So it's definitely a person. Okay. We all know that this is where it happened. We know this is the location of the happening. We know where the shooter was. We know all of such, and we know where Trump was. And then they're like, the person was over here on this water tower. I want you to look at something right here. They're saying that this knob on top of the water tower was a shooter, and that water towers are supposed to have flat tops. No, that is what is called a vent. Let's see. Oh, where's the, grab my little guy, throw him right here. Okay, that's the water tower right there. Move over here real quick. This is the water tower. Everybody's saying that this is a shooter on top of the water tower. They're saying that this guy right here, this guy, is a shooter. This is a vent. Water goes up into the tower and is stored there. It is gravity feed. This is so that there is pressure, constant pressure on the lines, constant water pressure on the lines. That vent not only keeps the pressure from building in these tanks to where they, burst, but it also lets them breathe so that there's ventilation, because, water goes in, and then once it goes out, there has to be, air in there at some point. Otherwise, this would collapse like a water bottle. I mean, it's only science. It's only physics. It has to be. Now, I am sick of people saying that up there, oh, that's a shooter. You can see them on the video. No, you can't. There's not a second shooter. There's not, anything going on. There's nothing weird about this water tower. It is a damn water tower. It's literally right there. That is your water tower. There's literally nothing more that you can do. I mean, oh, but it was a straight shot to shoot Trump. No, it wasn't. Let's see. If I put the little guy right here, can I see? Okay. Now, there's the water tower there. Yeah. There'd be too much in the way, because it's just barely over these trees. You had the big machines in the way. You had two stadium stands in the way. He was below the target zone. I mean, if there was somebody, clinging to the top of the water tower, like Call of Duty or freaking PUBG or something, they'd only be able to see like maybe this portion of Trump's head, and that there's too much movement. Real people that do this kind of work don't go 4 headshots. That is movie myth. That is video game bullshit. That's how we know that the kid wasn't trained. That's how we know there was no actual shooting training except for video games. People who play video games aim for the head because it's the fastest way to shoot, because if you shoot anybody in the body, it's, 50, 60 shots. I mean, Grand Theft Auto, you unload a magazine into somebody's body, it does pretty much nothing to them, but you hit them one time in the head with a crowbar and they're dead instantly. I mean, hell, there's some of these guys you punch in the head twice and they're dead. That's video game logic. This is real life. You don't aim for the head because the head is always moving. You aim center mass, and you look for the through and through lung, heart, lung, that trifecta, or you try to hit the actual heart itself. You try to hit the lungs or the esophagus area, because enough trauma in that area destroys all breathing. No airway to get to the brain or heart, and you cannot recover from that. EMTs, no matter how trained they are not trauma surgeons, so they've got like maybe a minute to fix all that. Ain't gonna happen. It's like an hour in the operating room just to fix one half of that. So we know it was inexperienced kid, first time shooter. I mean, yeah, the kid probably had training, as in they played a lot of video games and saw how it was done, and then they watched a couple videos, and it's like, yeah, we all know that the douchebag is not as they say he is, because they're using the top 2 photos and then the one by my thumb here, but they're not using his most recent one that was pretty much the week before the thumb photo, where he was claiming to be trans. They're not using that one because it destroys the narrative. Yes, he did. His very first thing was he registered as Republican to vote against Trump and to take a vote away. There's plenty of Democrats that are registered as Republican just so that they can screw the primaries, and then after the primary, then they change over to Democrat, or they stay Republican and then just vote Democrat down the board. But then they go, okay, I'm a Republican, but I voted Democrat, because it's all a lie. They just like to screw with people. But again, the shooter was here because it was a direct line. There was a direct line from here to here. Nothing in the way. Over here, there's too much in the way. And climbing up a water tower, having to climb said top of water tower, because you got to remember, once you get up there, you have to cut a lock. You have to get the bottom part of the staircase or ladder down. Then you have to climb all the way to the top, go around, cut another lock to get access to the other ladder system to get up there. And then by the time you're up there, you're on a slick ass surface. You can't lay down up there. You can't lay down and take shots. You're going to slide the fuck off this. That's why the ladder's there. The ladder takes you up there so you can check the vent and then get down. You're not going to be walking around on top of this like they do in all the video games. This is slick. And That's why you don't see a bunch of bird dookie up there, is because it's designed that way for a reason. It's not a video game. He wasn't you know, doing headshots and stuff like, Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty. That's where he learned. That's where he learned to do it. He's like, oh, I'm going to be sniping people. No. Dude learned everything he knew from video games. Stop spreading the lies about a second shooter on some freaking water tower or a second shooter that was actually in the stands and he was shooting. No. It's bullshit. One shooter. One lone shooter. And that shooter was a Democrat, pretending to be a Republican. And it was a man pretending to be a girl.